Hidden in an ancient neighborhood in western Beijing, the capital city of China, is an ancient tomb with a history of more than 400 years. This is a high-level tomb, but the owner is neither an important government official nor a wealthy businessman. In fact, the tomb owner was a eunuch, a castrated male, and a servant of the emperor. This is the story of his tomb. More than 20 kilometers away from the center of Beijing, there is a tomb built in the Ming Dynasty with a history of more than 400 years. The owner of the tomb is a eunuch named Tian Yi. Due to its long history, part of the outer walls of this tomb no longer exist. After entering the main gate, we can see a pair of stone pillars and a pair of stone statues. This is a reflection of social status. These structures appear in the tomb of a eunuch, which is very rare in the strict hierarchical society of ancient China. These two stone statues are exquisitely carved and nearly 3 meters high. One is a civil official, and the other is a military general. We often see statues like this in high-level ancient Chinese tombs. They are the guardians of the tombs. A key feature of ancient Chinese architecture is that a complex is always composed of several courtyards, one after another, and cemeteries are no exception. After entering the second gate, we can see 3 pavilions, inside which stand 3 stone tablets with the emperor's edict carved on them. This is also a reflection of the status of the tomb owner. The use of eunuchs by ancient Chinese imperial families can be traced back to about 3,000 years ago and lasted until the overthrow of the Qing Dynasty in 1912. Why castrated men were used as servants in the imperial palace? There are many reasons. Mainly because, first, there were many emperors' concubines in the imperial palace, and using eunuchs as servants would avoid unnecessary trouble. Second, castrated men do not have offspring to pass on power, so they will not have the idea of usurping the throne. This place used to be a large hall for people to worship. Now it has been destroyed, leaving only the foundation of the building. After crossing the third gate, there is the cemetery. Interestingly, a total of 5 people were buried here. Under each small mound is a tomb chamber. In front of each mound are offerings made of stone. The mound in the middle belongs to Tian Yi. Walking down the stairs for about 5 meters, we are now in the burial chamber. It goes without saying, the stairs we used to come down didn't exist in the past. The square area in front of the tomb door is part of the tomb passage. That is, a long ramp facing the tomb door, which means that 400 years ago, the coffin was carried into the tomb from here. This square stone records the life experience of the tomb owner in detail, from which we can understand what kind of person Tian Yi was. The stone platform at the back is where the coffin was placed, and the 2 pieces of wood on it may be the only remaining of the coffin. We can see that the roof is arched, and there is a niche on each of the 3 walls where the funerary objects were placed, which was, of course, the target of tomb robbers. His tomb has been robbed many times in history. The ancient Chinese believed that everything a person owned while alive should also be owned in the next life. Therefore, a large number of items were usually buried in tombs for the tomb owner to use in the afterlife. That is why tomb robbing was a common phenomenon in ancient China. We can see that one of the stone tomb doors is damaged. We know from the epitaph that Tian Yi was born in 1534. He was castrated and conscripted into the imperial palace at the age of 8. He started as an unimportant servant and became a powerful eunuch, deeply trusted by the emperor. He seemed to be a decent person who knew right from wrong, which was rare among eunuchs. He passed away in 1605 at the age of 72. When we read historical materials, we tend to focus on big figures such as emperors, generals, and ministers. Somehow, we may not pay too much attention to eunuchs like Tian Yi, but they are also the writers of history. Thanks to such a tomb, we know that there was such a person in history, and he did those things. Perhaps this is the charm of archaeology.